So hello and good night. This will be the beginning of my theory or my life work on what I believe, and the beginning of a book I'm about to write in the future. First, I have to visualize everything that I have in mind. Right. These days I find that I have a lot of ideas, but I don't really put them on paper as often as I should, and it lingers in my mind a little bit too much, more than I would like. So rather than have it scrambling in my mind and making me feel not of myself, I am going to start by recording, journaling what I have comes to mind of my current life and how to improve upon it. I haven't done one of these videos. It feels like a long time now. Feels like it's been a while since the last time I've done one of these videos, and that shouldn't be, because I take what I say very seriously, very very seriously. So, and I believe that is why I wasn't really feeling myself past couple of as of recently. Right, so tonight I will be um I'll be documenting on what I know, not what I theorize or whatever. It's about what I know. Alright? So, with that being said, since I've been born, first things first, I never knew when I was born. Okay? I've been told I was born, I've been, all of these things. But I didn't know I was born, so just keep that in mind. So for about, I remember first time being born, I didn't remember anything up until like when I was at the age of 5 years old. So between the ages of like now born since 5 is just like, so 0 years to 5 years of being born. I can't type. I don't know if I could type on this. So 0 to 5 years of being born is just darkness. It's just like, it's not even darkness. It's like, it's like undescribable, like, and that is what it should be. That is what it should be. It should be undescribable. No words should describe like what your experience between these years, because you're not there. Between the ages of 0 to 5, no being born or before even born or whatever. Alright, you're not there. Alright. Now, when I first was in preschool, alright, that was preschool. That was about 5 or 6 years old. I would have been. I had like holes in my memory. It wasn't like consistent memory. In fact, in the moments of just being at that age, you're kind of in and out of just existence, a kind of way. You know, so bringing awareness to that, that is another layer of just being as well. Because I only remember moments of like when I fell down. I had a large gash when I fall down one time. I think it was a couple times actually I fell. Um, First time getting dropped to school, I believe. Hopping in that vehicle and going to school the first time. I don't know. I'm not getting back memories now that I think about it, but in the moment, it just kind of there. Alright, so let me just kind of skip to why I just feel the need to post this. So the dark sun, right? This is, I'd like to say, one of my final stages of like what I believe. This is the this is like the it's to say that this is like all my work combined into one. Right, all the live streams and all the different things I've speaking about on this channel is like all of that into one, you know. Like how I would like to, like how I would like to describe it. Like how I would like to describe it. Right, so I'd like to describe it like that. All of my Alliance theory, all of time relativity, so it's all of these things all combined into one. Alright, so this dark sun is just like, this is like everything in one. Alright, like darkness. And it's to say that the sun and all of existence without this wouldn't exist. All of us wouldn't exist without this but it's not like a literal sun, it's more like consciousness, or like the absence of consciousness. It's more like, think about like when you fall asleep. You don't know that you're sleeping until you wake up. It's the same thing like when you're born and when like gain consciousness. It's like what happened before that. That is what the whole thing is about. It's not that a questioning what happened before that, it's just that a questioning, or not even questioning, I just going off of what I know about how I grew up and what I know. Alright, so I'll talk however I feel like talking, because sometimes if I make sense of what I'm trying to say, it comes out worse at times. Alright, so this evening while working, I just was thinking about it. And I don't know if it's like a level of sleep deprivation what does make me have these ideas. But either way, it is what it is. Alright, so it's to say that our consciousness, which is represented by this here, is to say that our consciousness doesn't really matter. Alright? It's to say that the time between when you wasn't born and even before you was born, before you even exist, is your true self. It's to say that the dark sun is where our true selves exist. It's to say that everything we do within our bodies, within our day-to-day routines, it doesn't really matter. It's to say that all of existence is insignificant, and that in a way we all just trying to live, it's just to see that all of us just trying to live. Whether it be the richest, the poorest, the in between, whether it be a dog, a cat, a mouse, a rat, whatever, is to say that all of this is flat. Like, and I mean flat, I don't mean like flat, I mean like, to explain this. I'm not saying that reality isn't, this grand thing or not. I'm just saying that we probably overcomplicate. We overcomplicate things a lot. This dark sun is where our minds exist. Is this the base level of the inner mind? Well, first things first, it are levels to it. So our mind exists both in the sun, the light sun, Hold on, let me just thing add another blank sheet here. So it's to say that our mind exists between the both worlds. And the reason I tend to draw the dark sun larger than this one is because it just so easy just to just close your eyes and sleep, or to just it you know, we're just made to die. It's just to say that, you know, it's just that we are here temporary, and this is our real self. You know, the dark sun, the consciousness, you know, the feeling you get when you close your eyes, you know, the emotions. So it's to say that, and this really supposed to be white. But anyways, alright, so it's just to say that our minds exist in both worlds. Right? Light. This has no name. I can't really name. I call it the dark sun, but it has no name. It's beyond light, it's beyond the mind, it's beyond everything. It just is. This is. Right? So the mind now, it connects the consciousness and the light. Without consciousness, you wouldn't know you exist. Without the light, you wouldn't be living in reality. You'll just be living in here. You'll just be living in is. You know, I feel like I'm describing this wrong. Alright, so let me start over. Alright, so as I was saying before, we came from the dark sun, and we still, and the way how I'm trying to say it is that we still live under the dark sun. We still live under the dark sun. You know, is to say that everything that we see and everything that we do on a daily basis is basically the same as the dark sun. It's like it have living under the sun, and then it have living under the dark sun. Now to reach this level of just existing, you know, you had to go through things and see things differently. You know, you had a dark sun is within ourselves, you know, it's within our minds and beyond that. It's to say that nothing in front of me really matters, and that is it really. I terrible at describing things, very very terrible at just describing how I feel, but I wouldn't give up because of that. Never. You know, so I'll keep trying. What I should do though is try to break it down in pieces. So let me just start over one last time. I'll try to make it. So we come from dark sun because we don't remember anything. And we still exist within the dark sun because it never left us. No, why this? Why our sun? Why our sun? No. The reason why I say a sun is because suns tend to carry systems. Alright. So that is why I say a sun. No. This sun, as I say, is still within us. Right? This sun matters way more than our sun that we see in the sky. Because after death, we never left this sun, you know, it's still there. This sun exists within us and beyond that. So it exists everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. So it exists within us and it exists out of us. Alright. So, okay. But our bodies, every time I say body, it kind of messes up my thought process. Our bodies now, you ever feel like, you know, you didn't sleep properly the night before, or like you just didn't rest properly, or like you're overworked or whatever. Your body is designed just to rest, just to give in to gravity, and let gravity take its course. Now, this dark sun is that force itself. That is the force. So, when you experience gravity, or when you feel like not doing something, or you're feeling like taking an easier route in something, or you just don't want to live your life or whatever, that is your true self just calling back home. That is the feeling of just going back home, in the comfort of just resting and relaxing. So it's just like, in a way, it's like just a normal night and day cycle between like life and death. Oversimplified, I guess. But when you close your eyes, it is where you belong. We don't need our body in order to exist. We don't need a sun. We don't need air. We don't need life to exist. Don't need thought, love, words. Nothing. is to say that this dark sun is the foundation of everything. Nothing and in between. It's to say that we whole life is just it's to say that we whole life is just what we make it. That is what it is to say. It's to say that size in comparison to the dark sun is you can't compare, because the sun the sun is just another thought sprung up by the endless nothingness of nothing. Is to say that that way is to say just the mere fact that we just have consciousness is enough for me, that is enough for me to describe about the dark sun. Without consciousness, we wouldn't know anything. That is what it is to say. Same way how I have consciousness is the same way how my cells and whatever smaller than me knows to build up into a larger person, or to grow, or to do whatever. Alright, this is like that. So our thoughts don't matter. It just matters how you feel. Because how you feel is something that is out of this world. Check it out, because most time I know, every time I get a feeling of how I feel about something or someone, it always comes true. Thinking about it doesn't always work, but feeling is always feeling. Like genuine feel. I'm not talking about feeling that you think. I'm talking like genuine feeling. That is what I talking about. Like, so I was saying just now with the mind. Dark sun is like Dark sun is our true selves. When you take away all these social dynamics and all this stuff that we make up in society, take that away, sit down in a corner for like, I don't know, like a minute in silence, in darkness, and I'll get to understand that without the sun, without sound, without the sun, you'll get to understand that that is how life truly is. You know, it's just pure nothingness. You know, and you had a, and this is where the difference comes. You know, because because life is truly like that, you have to think within your mind what you want, what you want to see, what you're willing to sacrifice. So that is what I mean by what we truly are is existing within the dark sun. No, because the other day I think I was doing something. What was I doing? Oh, right. I just picked up reading papers, media, through printed papers. Right, and the moment I started reading that, someone asked me if we sell papers, if where they could get some papers. Someone asked me that. It's about at times where something comes to mind, or a person comes to mind, and then you see the person. You see the person that you have in your mind, sometimes you feel like something is going to happen, and this falls back to feel. You feel like something's going to happen, but I can't like describe the feeling. Sometimes I just ignore it, and then it happens. You could have prevented it. You could have done everything in your part to stop it, but you didn't. Right? And it's never a coincidence. It's just life existing somewhere else, and I didn't even like notice. So this is true life. It might seem depressing, or whatever you want to call it, but depression doesn't exist. That is just another word. The reason I say that is because you just like live, like depression is just isolation. Just isolating yourself from your true thoughts and depending on something else to solve it. you know. Depression is just copium pro max. That is what I see it as. You know. So this existing within your mind is enough. The more you do that, and the less you depend on shit they're selling, and the more you just sit down in a corner listening to your thoughts and realizing that that is where you're going at the end of the day, you know, just in darkness, pure, unfiltered nothingness. You wouldn't even know that you exist. And that is just the beauty of it all, you know. Not knowing that you exist is the supreme like light, you know. Not having any responsibilities, just nothing, endless nothing. You know, that's why sometimes children so happy, because the less they have on their mind is just pure bliss, you know, it's just pure. And I guess that is why some of us tend to numb whatever thoughts we have, just to capture that moment of pure nothingness. You know, it could be that. I know I used to do that because of I used to numb the pain because of what I have going through my mind and the responsibilities that I have, because I was trying to escape it. But everybody may be different. I see it as that. I see it as just running from your responsibilities and numbing yourself. Right, but now, when you're now born, you're coming to the world, you're free, you're light, you're everything in one. So yeah, I'm not saying to just just be, there's a statue standing up and watching life. Just saying that life not complicated. You know, whatever you feed your mind is what you get. The mind is just designed as a feedback loop. Let me just. So yeah, the dark sun is where we truly live. In silence is where we truly belong. In silence is where we truly belong. This body, this vessel is represented by the sun. And the sun under the sun is how we choose to feed our minds and how we choose to live. How we feed our minds is how we choose to live. Is the part we choose to live. You know? So yeah, yeah. I think that's all for now. This intro section, this will work as an introduction to what I've coming forward in terms of what planning on writing. You know, this is just an introduction. This is like the less of the world you see is the more you see. It's like that. You know, sometimes as of now that I have this to look at, feel like I'm making progress. I feel like I'm making progress. So yeah, so let me just give this a final rundown through the notepad. Um, thing.